What is a user-friendly way for your end users to provide information to some of your PowerShell code? That is the question that we're going to answer today. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jason Yoder. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, and I have taught over 200 PowerShell classes around the world. So on this channel, I answer some of the questions that I get from not just my PowerShell classes, but Azure and Security Plus as well. So what we're going to tackle today is a very easy way for our non-technical users to be able to utilize PowerShell. Because as we know, we can provide inputs to PowerShell code, but to ask our end users to do it with parameters might not go over very well. So let me show you an alternative idea here. So much of the code that I write is generally done in the form of functions because, again, I'm a PowerShell user. I know how to use this stuff. But for our end users, that may not be comfortable for them. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to accept user input after a script has started, and to do so in a more user-friendly way. So let's take a look at the commandlet called read host. Now, read host, what it does is it simply prompts the user, they enter in data, and if we save read host to a variable, like in this case, you guys can see that I'm going to be saving the input from the user into a variable called user input. Well, let's see what happens. So I go ahead and run this, and now down here it's waiting for something. Hello world. I'm going to press enter. Now that value was saved into the variable user input, so we can recall it later. Now obviously you want to ask the user certain questions so you get the proper input from them. So with read host, you can also add in a prompt. In this case, my prompt is simply going to say hello. Now, of course, this could be a question like how many records do you want? What's the name of the individual? Whatever it is, process name, whatever input your script needs, you can ask in a form of a question. So here I'm just going to say hello. And once again, it is going to be saved into that variable. We can also combine this with colored font by using write host. Here I'm using write host. Please choose an option with a foreground color of green, but I'm also adding in the parameter no new line. This will prevent a carriage return from happening. The next command is my read host statement, of course being saved to a variable. And when I do this, it's going to project out onto the screen. Please choose an option. You can see it's in the color green, and my prompt is waiting for me to enter a value. So we're going to say we're going to choose option 5. And then just like before, it saved it into our variable. Now, about creating that menu. This is where we can have a little fun, get a little bit creative, but the whole idea is to present them with a list of options to choose from. Here you can see I've created a menu, and at the very bottom is where I'm accepting the user's input. So when I run this command, you can see down here at the bottom, there is my menu. So as the end user, let's say I need to start my virtual machine, so I'm going to press the option 2, press enter, and then of course the value of whatever they selected goes into that variable. The next part of your code, of course, would take a look at whatever value the user entered and then act upon it with the appropriate code. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see all of you in the next episode.